A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
I made that button just for you, Renshai.
A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Hello, boobies.
Hey, what's up, gang? It's Adam from the CommanderSmiths, and it is our Searching for the Spotlight, and I am working on Edgin tonight. I hope you like that intro stuff, French. I have been meaning to add that in, so whenever you do, how come you guys are always late, I will just hit this button.
A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
So that's just for you, buddy. So every time you say that, you're going to get that button in the beginning. So I may smash buttons in the beginning while we're waiting on the intro. So it's not a tutoring deck. I do have fart up. This is not tutoring. This is playing spells and doing fun stuff. It is a Dragon's Approach. Edgin. Let's see if I can say it. Larcenous. I said it right earlier. Larcenous Lutenist. Wait, I got this too.
Kid can't even read.
The dragons are not the main part of this. That's just kind of like they can help with this. I'll go over that here in just a second, and you'll smash my buttons. Thanks, buddy. So just in case you guys don't know, this is from the secret layer that is currently still going for another 4 days and 6 hours, 26 minutes. This is one of the 7 cards. There's 6 here, but you do get that dragon that's in there. So that is still going. I'm not promoting for Secret Lair. I'm just showing you where this card is coming from. Basically, what we are going to do tonight is normally what I do is I go through all the cards that I have. And then actually, let me pull up the blueprint so you guys can see that. Okay, so we got the blueprint up so you guys can see that, and I can have it here. Because here's the thing. Normally I go through it all and then I go back and I start cutting stuff. Well, this time I'm going to try to cut stuff while I'm going to get a big jump on things a little bit. The difficult thing here is I have 25 Dragon's Approach. So that takes a huge spot in this. So that's kind of the hard part is, and you know me, I like having lots of cards. So this makes it a little more difficult. The good thing is I am under that 200 mark. So I only have 96 cards to cut. And that does include in land. I do have my land package in here as well. And I do have everything sorted. So a lot of times when I do the beginning video, I don't always have them sorted. So here, as we're going, I can kind of reference the blueprint that we have on the side here that you guys can see there. And I will try to reference that so you can see the main deck. We have the main ideas 15 to 25. Ramp and rocks are 13 to 17. Draw 12 to 18. Now, Larry and I have tried to stay on the higher end of that because we don't do the tutors as much. So that might be on the high end with our stuff. Protection 8 to 12. Removal 7-15. Day of Dragons, what that is the game winners. Now this, I didn't like pull anything out as the Day of Dragons because Dragon's Approach is kind of that on its own in a way. There are some things that they're going to synergize really well together, but I don't have anything where it's like, this is most likely going to win the game if you get this out. There is a lot of good cards. And maybe as we go along, be like, oh, this is actually more of a Day of Dragons type thing. And then we have the side themes. This one really won't have the side theme as much. Because it's just really spell slinging and getting those approach of Dragon's Approach out. Recursion 0 to 5 and pet card 0 to 5. So we don't have a lot of the pet cards. Well, maybe Sensei's Top would fit in that, but I always count that one as a draw. Don't need to tutor when your deck is the tutoring deck. Yes, exactly. So get around it. That's how you get around it. So the next thing I got to do is build like Lowry's Merfolk. His Merfolk deck, it's a counterspell deck. The deck itself is countering. No, but his commander isn't. So that's where he kind of loses me on that. Okay, so I am drinking a beverage tonight. We had kind of a little stressful night tonight. Not terrible, but my wife was like, I want a Moscow Mule. And I was like, well, if you're pouring one, I will have one too. So that is what I'm drinking. Just the one. I don't like to drink on the weekdays besides Monday, which is a weekday. I know, but that's the only day because it's the podcast. So, all right, let's get going with this stuff. We're just going to go through this whole shebang of stuff. So the cool thing with Edgin is each of your non-land cards in your hand that don't have fortell gain fortell by paying 2. And then, so what that does is it makes it so when you cast that spell later, you can't cast it on that turn. You have to wait until at least you say go to the next person. You still have to follow the rules. Like if I'm playing a Planeswalker, I can't cast the Planeswalker on other people's turns unless I have other cards that allow me to do that. But it does cost 2 less the next time I cast it. So that's the first part. The second part, which is kind of actually when I first built, was thinking like I'm gonna build this deck. The second part is what got me. I was like, oh, this is why, because I don't like my Kaima goading deck, and I was like, oh, this one I can spell sling and make people attack. That actually turned into more secondary in this because of the approach of Dragon's approach. I always want to say approach of the second son. Dragon's approach and their sorceries. So that's kind of the more difficult part of it. But the cool thing is, you see that 2 colorless there. That allows, so let's go down to Dragon's approach. I think I have it with the dragon package. Dragon's approach costs 2 colorless and a red. So ideally what I'm thinking of doing in this is almost setting up. So I'm going to have a bunch of things that I'm foretelling. The cool thing is if Edgin gets killed, they're still out there with the foretell ability. So I can still, it still costs 2 less. You don't need Edgin out to give it the 2 less mana cost, but you won't get the goading effect, which I'm just like, okay, that's just going to be a little bonus. But the cool thing is you could set this up with Dragon's approach. Was that a good husband won't make his wife drink? Exactly. Thanks, Ibukagi. The thing about Dragon's approach is you can see it coming. You're like, oh, how many do you have in your graveyard? Oh, crap. Okay, whatever. So what I want this to almost be is like a surprise in a way. So putting these down on the table early on, getting them out, and then at one turn just going, all right, I tap 5 red, I cast 4 Dragon's approach, 4th one goes, let's go get a dragon and do all that stuff. Really quick, I guess since we're at it, these are the dragons that I'm dealing with. They might not all stay in here. Ancient Copper, I mean, this is just a good dragon. You know, you're getting more mana, and that's perfect for this deck. Ancient Silver is going to make it so I have more cards in my hand and no maximum hand size, so more chances to hit Dragon's approach. Furk Rog.
One,
I get that a lot.
Kid can't even read.
This works well with this because, let's see, whenever one or more dragons you control attack an opponent, go to creature. So it's doing the goading. But whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, if that creature had to attack, if I'm not sticking to the goading part, this might not be as good, actually. I might turn this into a sideboard guy. So right there. That was good when I was focused on the goading part of it. But now, and I want to make sure that's, hang on. Let me reread it. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, if that creature had to attack this combat, okay, yeah, you put a 1/1 counter on it, and then it draws. Okay, so the goading part, you're not going to do it to your stuff necessarily. You could, because goading is go target creature opponent control, so you wouldn't do it to your own stuff. And I don't think you can anyways with goading. It's always your opponent's stuff. So that one is no longer viable. But Leyline Tyrant, this one I can, that whole setup I was talking about with Dragon's approach, if I have extra mana, red mana sitting there, I can just start feeding Leyline Tyrant. And if it dies, I can use that all at once. So it either deals, or not all at once. You may pay any amount of red when it dies. Yeah, you use that all and you deal that much damage to a target. So you could just start building Leyline Tyrant up. And if somebody kills it in the process, you can hit it to the face, kill a creature, whatever. You have that option right there. And if they let it sit there, by the time you actually need that mana, boom, you use it all and you can cast anything you want. So this is going to be key in this deck. Not necessarily getting with Dragon's Approach. I think more often than not, it's going to be to hit Niv Mizzet, which, side note, this was the deck that I'm taking apart. So I did build a Niv Mizzet Perun deck years ago during the cast. It's one of our deck techs. And I don't play it that often. There's a couple semi-infinite combos where you use the is it Curiosity? Whenever it deals damage, you draw a card. Put it 1 damage to any target whenever you draw a card. So then you have this infinite combo pretty much of drawing out your deck and almost killing everybody. You don't have to in that situation, but I was like, okay, I accidentally made that part and I didn't like how that is, so I don't play this one that often. Other people do, but the triple blue and triple red makes it kind of tough. But in this is going to be really nice because it synergizes with Dragon's Approach really well. Whenever you draw a card, it deals 1 damage. Whenever you cast instants and sorceries, you may draw a card. So you're working, it's a spell slinger deck. So that's what this is probably going to get. And if I had to pick a Day of Dragons, and it fits the name because we're talking about dragons, it would probably be this into that. So, but these are good too. Like if you can get these guys out and get through, whew, that's some good tokens or drawing there. So, all right, let's move back up to and start working our way down with stuff. So, kind of the other idea with it is you're spell slinging, you're wanting to copy your Dragon's Approach. So there's a couple things with this. You are going to see counters in this, but I'm going to remove them. I'm just showing you that you can use those in these. Some of them might stay because when they have modes, I like to use those kind of counters when they fit with what I'm doing. And so a lot of this is going to be redirecting or copying spells. So that is going to be my way of countering counters, is by using stuff like that. That is the hard part, though, is you're dealing with blue and red. So I'm either I got to do direct damage somehow, which that's not what Dragon's Approach is doing. That's direct damage to players, but I got to figure out ways to kill creatures. Let's see. My creature removal, I have 17. So I have a lot of different things. But again, like I said, there is some counters in here that I will be taking out, but I just wanted to show you how you could build your version of this deck. Okay, so let's just get started. The new Chandra Hope's Beacon. So this is 6. It's a little high on what I'd like, but if you're using, it still works with Edgin's cost. So you could set this, you get it early, you tap the 2, put it out later, by turn 3, 4, you're able to pop this out. Because the nice thing with it is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you copy it, choose new targets. It only triggers once each turn. So the point of this deck is, if you remember, Edgin, if I cast my second spell on each turn, it's not just my turn, on other people's turns. So there's gonna be a lot of instance in this, so that I can potentially, if there is a threat, I want to be able to react and be like, I cast this and this, that creature can't attack me, but it has to attack somebody. And so this can be useful because you're going to be doubling your stuff there. The +2, add 2 mana of any color. That's whatever. Exile the top 5 cards on a turn. May cast instant and sorcery spells. So that helps because we're digging through that. The only part, the downfall, is I don't like that they're exiled, because part of this, since you have red mixed in here, red and blue, is I'm fine with drawing Dragon's Approach and putting them in the graveyard. So there is some spells in here that I'm dealing with that, where you're just drawing stuff, put it in the graveyard. For right now, we're going to keep this in here. Fury Storm. So this is going to be also, we're going to drop this down too, but it's copying your spells. And you can copy it for as many times as you cast your commander. This is a low costing commander. So at the very least, it's doing it twice. So you're copying target, like paying 2. Like, I'm going to say that with all this. Ideally, what the thought process is I'm only paying 2. I'm getting 2 less. So I'm paying the 2 early, getting this out, setting it up for later to use it. I can see one problem with this, though, is I'm going to be doing a lot of, looking at what the cards are because they're not in my hand. I don't know if I find a different way of doing that. Maybe what I do is, actually this could work, is have something kind of like, think of a Scrabble thing, holding your cards, and the exiled ones I might just sit there so I can see them at all times, and so it doesn't get annoying of me. Wait, hold on. Nope, not this one. Oh, this one. So that's probably what I'll do with this deck. That's my little mental note that I got to do there. Okay, so Fury Storm. That's going to be sweet. Late game, mid game. There's some fun stuff you can do with that. Jin Gataxius. So this is copying your spells, and it is a dick card, but it's going to cost 2 less eventually. But it's a dick card. Whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, counter the first spell. So it is countering. It only triggers once. For 7 and then potentially 5. It's a big game changer there. I like the static abilities of always doing that. So for now, we'll keep it. It might get cut because, again, we got to cut a lot of cards here. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you can play from the top. So this is nice too. Mind's Desire, I thought this would be cool because, like I said, if you're building up, casting a bunch of stuff, you might be able to hit this a bunch of times and maybe hit what you're going for, but it's just too much. I think we're relying too much on stuff, and it's a sorcery speed. Maybe if it was instant, I would like that a little better. Mizzix Replica Rider. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, so these are being exiled, the fortell stuff. You may pay 2. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets. If the copy is a permanent spell, it gains haste, and then you sacrifice it. So this is also you're copying your spells for 2. We need to cut stuff. We're going to do this one to sideboard for now. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, copy it. So this one automatically, I don't have to pay an extra 2. I may choose new targets if a permanent spell. So it's doing the same thing as the last one, but this one just does it without me paying more mana. So I like this one better, so we're going to keep it for right now. Pyromancer's Goggles, this fits in with our Mana Rocks. And when I'm tapping with red mana, if it was spent to cast a red instant or sorcery, so Dragon's Approach, it's going to double that or make a copy. So that's definitely staying. Reiterate, the buyback is kind of nice. Paying the 2. We're only getting a 1 minus on that one. But the buyback, we could get that back if we wanted to. This might be a little hefty. It's not hefty, but that one's going to stay for now. Simon. So Simon, I think, fucking works perfect in this. So for 3, he's easy to get out. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value 3 or greater, so that's what all those dragon approaches are. They're 3 mana or greater. So this is perfect. You roll a 20-sided die, 1 to 9. People might let this sit out because like, I want, if he hits 1 through 9, we all draw. But 10 to 19, you draw a card. And if you hit that 20, you copy that spell and may choose new targets for that copy. So you wouldn't trigger it again because it's cast and this is a copy. The casting triggers, it doesn't work that way. But this seems really cool because that's what I'm using, Dragon's Approach in this. 1,000-Year Storm. So remember I was saying I'm setting up stuff. I'm getting, I guess here's the side theme. We'll come back to 1,000-Year Storm. Let me just jump ahead really quick. The interesting thing I kind of thought with this is we're going to do wheel and draw. So because I'm setting all these cards down to play at a later time, a lot of times I might not have a hand. So these wheel effects will be really nice. Not ones where you're discarding your hand, draw that many, because your hand is out in exile. So these can be very useful to refill your hand without getting rid of any of your cards. So I like all the wheels in there. Windfall, Misfortune, Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fate, Magus of the Wheel. We could set that one up. And also it has that 2 costs less. So we can play all of these. Could potentially cost, this could cost 1, that could cost 1, that could cost 1. Wheel of Fate already kind of costs 2. And then this could cost up to 3, when we get that all out. So that is probably my side theme because this is my way of filling my hand back up after exiling everything out. So that is where we're at there. Let's get back to where we were. 1,000-Year Storm. For 6, I think I'm going to do this on the sideboard. I like it. Copy it for each of their instant sorcery spell. No, actually, that's better than this guy. It's the same. That's better than this because it's multiplying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, copy it for each other instant sorcery spell you cast before it. So the first one wouldn't count. But if you're setting it up to cast more, you can really do some damage with Dragon's Approach. So that is actually pretty good in there. Thrumming Stone. Lowry used this in his Shadowborn Apostle deck and really did some work. I think it works well in this as well. Could be game winner. You know, that could be my game winner there too, because if you keep hitting a Dragon's Approach and you're doing 3 damage to everybody, that can take out the table right there. I don't remember how many Lowry hit in a row, but I recall 5 or 6 of his Shadowborn Apostles hitting the board. So, and if you set this up nice and you got a couple of them, you keep doing it, you know. So this, okay, let's add a little tag in here. We're gonna do Day of Dragons, because that would be this one as well, and that other dragon would be it too. Okay, so that is pretty sweet in this. 5 colors, easy to get out, especially if you get the reduction there. Tomb of Horrors Adventurer. So this one, you take the initiative. The initiatives are really good. I don't know if you guys have played with initiative. My Duke deck does a very good job with how the initiative works. Getting through those dungeons or whatever, it's awesome. So, but this is whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it. If you've completed a dungeon, that does it twice. So this, you're trying to cast 2 spells to hit that goaded, but you're not always going to get it. I think for now we'll keep it here, but like I said, we got to cut 93 cards. So we're going to need to do something, but I'm just getting through things. Whenever you cast or copy a spell, this gets 1+1 until end turn. If you're casting or copying an instant or sorcery, causes the ability to trigger an additional time. Okay, let's see. If casting or copying an instant or sorcery spell causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So what I was thinking is the goading, it would do it twice. I don't think it's as powerful as what I'd want in there, so I am going to get rid of it. Hear me out. Cut the blue, add the green and black, make... Get out of here. Get out of here, Renshai, with that. You know what I say to that? I'm wearing the shirt. I decided that this shirt, I would just say build a better deck. Where's the button? I think it's one more. Or maybe it's back to the original.
I would just say build a better deck.
This shirt is going to be when I play Commander games or building decks. And it actually probably fits better with this because I could just hit that button all day. Wild Ricochet. So just think of this being 2 red. You may choose new targets for target instant or sorcery spell. So this is deflecting somebody else's counter spell. Then copy that spell. You may choose new target. So I think this is good. This is my kind of my, like if you see here, change tags. It is my protection. Wild Magic Sorcerer. First spell you cast from exile this turn has Cascade. Yeah, that seems pretty sweet. Cascade into more stuff. So I think this one's a for sure. It's got to be in there. Working on Slimefoot and Squee. Nice. I might have gone Slimefoot. I had my other Slimefoot, but I knew I wanted to build this. And then after I'm done with this, Lowry's on the next deck, I think. And then I have the Tom the Bomb Bombadil deck that I'm going to be building. So it's not something I was going to be able to build. I like that we have these combos because it makes me want to kill the other ones that I have, the original versions, like the Gitrog monster. I did kill my Gitrog, but it did make me want to build the Gitrog one. So, all right. So now we get into damage multipliers. This is going to be sweet in this deck. I like it better than Fire Emancipation. We're going to keep all of these in here for now. Because the multiplier, if we're like, just think of Torbrand. Instead of your 3 damage from Dragon's Approach, now we're doing 5 damage to everybody. That's pretty sick. Same with Azosaurus was deal non-combat damage to opponent or a permanent. Deals double, so you're doing 6. This is triple and triple. These are kind of Day of Dragons. And we might as well add that in there. Day of Dragons. Day of Dragons. D&D Secret Lair cards a day. Half of my cards have those. There we go. It sucks, Parks. But that is exactly why I say open those damn things, because more often than not, no, I shouldn't say that. Not more often than not, but maybe 10% of the time, there's something wrong with them. I'll even tell you this. I bitched about this on the Discord, but I had replacements for my Galtas that just came last week after sending my other ones in. They were foil, and they had lines going across them. Well, check these out. Can you see that? That's not foil. So they sent me replacement non-foils. So I have another ticket out. And the good thing is they do respond to the tickets. The thing I'm worried about is it took them so long to get me those. I'm like, I hope that they're not like giving you those anymore. So then I would just want a refund or something. I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen there. But yeah, that sucks, Parks. I would definitely start a ticket. The problem is they have changed the way they do things. They used to say, keep those cards and we'll just send you new ones. Now they make you send them back. So if you're going to play with them or you want to play with them soon, I don't know. It should work it out because the lines suck. I hate the roll lines on them. All right, we already talked about the dragons, but Ancient Copper, Ancient Silver, we had our dragons approach. I got 25 of them. I don't know if anybody's built that's on chat or not on chat. If you're watching later, write in the comments. What is a good number when you're playing a dragons approach or a Shadowborn Apostle deck, like or the Persistent Petitioners? What is a good number? Like 25 just feels like a good round number, but I'm not sure because I've never built a deck with unlimited cards in that or the same card in it. So whatever you guys, I'll check the comments later if you guys comment and all that stuff. But the dragons here, Niv Mizzet might be our big guy that's kind of a Day of Dragons. And it's funny because this is the card that, or the deck that I took apart to make this deck. So Niv Mizzet Perun deck died to make this deck. Thank you for the sacrifice. All right, so now we get into draw. Draw 12 to 18. Now we got to remember, we do have all those wheels that are down there. Why is Pongify in here? Get out of here. You're not in draw. What are you doing? Your removal, you son of a bee. Any more like that? Just saw that sitting there. Okay. Draw. Archmage. Emeritus. Yes, this is perfect. Cast or copy. So your copies, you're gaining stuff. This is just a fantastic card. If you don't have this, you need to get it because you're going to build a Spell Slinger at some point, and it's just really good to refill your hand playing Spell Slinger. Let's see. I got lucky already. Have a stack of other cards to send in. I was sending them in anyways. Gave them my sister's. Cool. That's good. I mean, then maybe they'll get to it faster. And the funny thing is, I'll say this. They were sending these out within the next day or two when you order these. For some reason, the D&D, they had them all already made. I don't know if it's because the movie just came out or what it was, but by far the fastest I've ever gotten Secret Lairs. And so that was kind of sweet. It's making me go, I'm going to order at the beginning now because I got it early where I was the only one on eBay selling those cards out. So that's my motto from now on, is buying right away because they sent those suckers right away. All right. Behold the Multiverse. So this already has Fortell. It is an instant. I like that it's an instant so I can, set this out and then play that later. So that one's definitely going to stay in there. Big Score is really good with this too. We're getting that reduction of 2. I know you have to pay the 2 to get it out, but I'm just saying the reduction of 2 is really nice. Discard a card so you can throw one of your, if you wanted to, Dragon's Approach in the graveyard if you're close enough to getting it, and then hitting it here, drawing 2 cards, getting you a ramp and all that. So this is nice. Brainstorm, I know it doesn't have the reduction, but it's a 1-drop as an instant. Like, these are awesome as instants. I love instant spells because I want to be able to have that option on other people's turns to force them to attack. Not me. If there's a big creature out, I'm like, well, fuck that. I'll play this Brainstorm and Behold the Multiverse. That creature's attacking somebody else, and I'm getting a benefit from that. So these are fantastic in that. Another instant, you're drawing 2 cards. So, yep, I like this. These are for sure in here. Deep Analysis. Sorcery. We're going to pop this one to sideboard. I don't like that it's a sorcery, but I do like the flashback. Factor Fiction. The one thing I do like about this, it is an instant, but I also like, I was saying, putting cards into your graveyard. You ordered yours on Thursday and got them on Saturday. Yeah, so that's pretty quick. And I think Jacuzzi got his the next day or 2 days after. So the typical shipping line or time frame has been 2 days, it seems. So this, I'm keeping in here for now. Top 5 cards with those, blah, 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 2 piles. So you could fill up your hand with Dragon's Approach or put half and half so that they are putting one in the graveyard and then you're going to be able to cast the other ones. So I kind of like that idea. Same idea with Faithless Looting. It is only a 1-drop, but you're drawing 2 cards, discarding. So you could get your stuff set up to hit your Dragon's Approach. Frantic Search. What is it? Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. So we're doing a similar thing. But it is at instant speed, so I like that better. And then you're untapping lands. Love that. Jessica's Will. Yes. This will be the first time I actually have it in a deck. It always ends up getting cut, but it is going to for sure stay in this deck here. I say that now, and I'm like, or maybe it gets cut. No, I'm just kidding. But if I'm able to pay 2 early, and then later, my next turn, pay 1 and get all that red, like that's key for the Dragon's Approach stuff. All right. Jin Gataxius. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with converted mana cost 3 or more, draw a card. We like that because that's what Dragon's Approach is. It's 3. So we're hitting that. We're probably not doing the flip, but you could if you wanted to. There's that option. So this is going to be very nice in this deck. And for 5, that's not bad. And if we get it has a little protection with the ward on it. Jory, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw. So it's fitting with what Edgin's doing. This one seems fun. At instant speed, I have not played this, and I actually don't own it, so I'm going to have to buy this card. But Keep Watch is draw a card for each attacking creature. So you can do it with your stuff. You're all out attacking with things. So that's, I guess, the side thing, too, is I'm going to have creatures. I'm going to have those creature innate bonuses from casting stuff. So that's my protection. I'm going to make a meat force so that I can't get killed. But if I could use it, or if somebody's coming at me, I can flip this over and draw for as many that are coming at me. Yours got stuck in the mail. Not that bad, though. That's not too bad. Considering I just got notification for that Phyrexian one, the special whatever. That wasn't a secret layer. That was the Beetle and Grimm's one. And Renshai, if you kept your order there, you probably got it too today. But they're delaying it until August at this point. So, son of a bitch. So I think this one will be fun. Also, instant speed. Also getting the reduction of 2. Love that. Leisure Shredder. Yeah, this is going to be good. Whenever a player casts their second spell. So this is everybody, including you. Connive. So it's playing into discarding a non-land card. So I could discard the Dragon's Approach into my graveyard. Mission Briefing. Similar thing. We're surveilling. So you're able to put that in your graveyard if you so choose. Mystic Confluence. I love this card, being able to choose the mode 3 times. So it does have that counter spell on that. But for 3, drawing 3 cards, maybe bouncing something, maybe countering a spell, like this seems really good. I don't think I'm going to keep this in here because it is a sorcery. So we're going to pop that to the sideboard. But it's a really fun card because, this did also kill Rashmi. Rashmi, I haven't played in probably 5 years before this cast. So it's over 5 years at this point because it was a dick card. People hated it. I played on everybody else's turn all the time. This deck is gonna, but it's not going to be controlling. Like that deck was controlling as shit. All right, Naheb. So when it deals combat damage to a player, you may discard that many cards. So again, we're dealing with that discarding. And then if I do draw that many cards and add that much red to your mana pool, you don't lose this as steps and phases end. So you get to use it until the end of your turn. So that seems really, really nice in this. It just needs to deal damage. It has trample. So that's pretty sweet because you just hit and then you're like, unload my hand. The only problem I can kind of see is if I'm exiling everything, then I don't really have a hand. So I might have to think about that one a little bit more. I already did Niv Mizzet. Una's Grace. Retrace may cast this from your graveyard by discarding a land card. So this is nice. It is a instant, which I like. Opt, yes. Ponder, yes. I love these 1-drops. This one, Radical Idea. These are getting a little loud in my ear. There we go. I don't know if I like this as strong as I want in this, so we're going to remove that. Ral for 5. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other in your graveyard. So it is getting through your deck a little bit. Deals damage equal to the number of sorcery cards, instant sorceries in your graveyard. And it's only to target creature. Ral might go. We're going to remove Ral. Serum Visions, 1 drop like that. Sublime Epiphany. Love the modes. So potentially for 4, you can counter a spell, counter an activate ability, return a permanent, make a token, and draw a card. So I love this card. This one seems pretty fun too, I think. Each player with fewer cards in hand than the player with the most cards in hand draws equal. Nope, never mind. Well, I guess what I was thinking is if I'm exiling everything, this might actually be pretty nice. So this might fit with the wheels and draws in a way, but this does help your opponents out as well. And at sorcery speed, we're going to sideboard that one. Think twice instant, draw a card. So it's similar to that other one. We're going to remove that guy. Trail evidence. So this is potentially a draw because whenever you cast the instant or sorcery, investigate. So you can tap 2 and sacrifice it to draw. I like that because you're going to be casting a lot of instants and sorceries. What do you got? In your opinion, Lowry, basically be very aggressive on anything that isn't ramp or draw. Thank you for that, because I'm going to need a lot of cuts because the 25 is not going to help me here. Curtis, love to see the ones with the lines through them. I collect. That's good to know. I get a lot of those. Big score. Both of them are instants. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasures. This one, you're discarding a card first. This one, as an addition... Oh, no, both of them are the same. They're the same, just the mana cost is just 2 red instead of 1, you know. Let's see. Buyback. We're going to get rid of this. This was what was in my Rashmi deck. And just drawing 1 card off of that. I like these better because you're looking at the top 3, put them back. Shuffle, ponders, preordained, scrying, and draw. So there's a little bit more to these, I guess, with that. For cutting. Yep. Okay. All right. Burgie. Yep. Whenever you cast a spell, add 1 red. That's going to help a lot. Braid of Fire. So this is going to be awesome because let me just back this up really quick. Actually, let's find a Fortell card, which was right. Where was that guy? Where was my Fortell guy? There he is. During your turn, you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down. Cast on a later turn for the Fortell cost. So, actually, I might be thinking this wrong. Larry, back me up on this. If it's my turn and we're during our... I don't think I can cast the sorceries, can I? At the beginning of your upkeep, put an age counter on the permanent and sacrifice it unless you pay its upkeep for each... Because sorceries are only during your main phases, so I actually don't think that's going to work as well as I thought. It'll work for my instants and stuff like that, but it will not work for the Dragon's Approach stuff. Confirm with me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I think I'm thinking it right. All right, Mana Geyser. Yeah, that's right. It just hit me as I was like, it says on your turn. And I was like, well, no, you got to get main phases, so we're not going to hit that. So Braid of Fire might not work as well as I was thinking it would, especially since we're doing a Dragon's Approach. It would be good in any other Fortell if I didn't have Dragon's Approach, but we'll do sideboard because if I do have enough instants in here, I might keep it in there. But we have 25 sorceries with Dragon's Approach. Mana Geyser, add 1 for each tapped land your opponents control. Not just one opponent, all your opponents. So this is a really good setup for later. We already did this Naheb. The other Naheb, this one's ridiculous. Has Afflict 3, so whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses 3 life. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, add 1 for each life your opponents have lost. So, Dragon's Approach. 3 damage, 3 damage, 3 damage. Well, it's 3 life, 3 life. Well, it is 3 damage, but it's losing 3 life. 3, 6, 9 red mana on your second main phase. So this is huge in this deck, adding mana in there. You get this guy out there, and you can do some pretty crazy damage with that. So I like this card a lot for this deck. Rousing Refrain. Let's see. Add 1 for each of target opponent. For each card in target opponent's hand. Tell end of turn you don't lose mana. Blah, 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 blah. Exile this with 3 suspend time counters. Okay. So it's only 1 target, so that is 1 problem. So I think we're going to get rid of that guy. It seemed fun, though. Seething Song. Add instant speed. Think of this being just 1 red. Later, you're getting 5 red off of that. And Dragon's Approach. What I want is to set up that I have... Maybe I have 7 or 8 of them out there, and I'm trying to win the game, you know, and I pop this one out. I flip over 5 of them and go get a dragon, you know, and you're doing 15 damage to the table. Like this could be really key later. Unwind, we're going to get rid of this one, but could be nice to have a 1-drop counter target non-creature spell, and then you're untapping 3 lands. The new Urabrask, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, deal 1 damage to target opponent, and you get 1 red. So we're duplicating what Burgie's doing, but Burgie, it goes till the end of the turn, so that's kind of the nice thing. So these are mana multipliers. What do we got? Hey, we've already cut 14 cards, and I haven't even gone through everything. So this we're making progress. Protection, deflecting SWAT. Yep, for 1 will be nice, or for free actually, if you really think about it. Your commander's out. Illusion. So my thought with protection a little bit. Oh, that was removal. I'm going to get rid of this one. It's not going to really help me in this situation. But the nice thing was they all out attack. You switch all the attacks and blah, 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 blah. That was kind of the point of that. Rewind. Counter target spell. Untap 4 lands. Cool. It's counter spells. Spell Swindle. Let's see. See how quickly when you just ignore chat. Spell Swindle. I like it for the treasure. I'm going to put this on the sideboard because it might pop in here if I don't have enough protection. I normally use a lot of protection. I do. Oh,
good for you.
So having only 5 feels weird. But that's what I have at this point. All right. And then the last one is Wiles Reversal. So think of it as 1, choose target spell or ability with 1 or more targets, roll a d20. Add the greatest power among creatures you control, and then you do this. Choose new targets for the target spell or ability. So this is kind of protecting your stuff. Or you may choose new targets for that spell or ability, then copy it, and you choose new targets. So kind of like a ricochet in a way, or a deflecting SWAT. Choose new targets for target spell or ability. The target has to have 1 or more targets, so that's you can at least get it away from your stuff. So this, I think, is going to fit in here. You set this out early. And for 1 red, you can protect your stuff. You're going to play the new deck for Horizon. I'll be... Oh, see you later, Parks. All right. Okay, so now we get into Spell Swindle multiple times in games. It never performs how you want. Yeah, it always seems like it's going to be really good. And I don't think I've ever cast Spell Swindle. But it seems sweet with treasures. All right, so our ramp rocks. Arcane Signet. Big score. We've already talked about that. Brass's Bounty. This can be very nice with the treasures stuff. Rocks, we want to have 13 to 17. Let's see where we're at with all this. Okay, so Brass's Bounty will be nice, especially if you pay the 2 early on. Then later, when you get enough mana out, plays, you get a ton of treasure. Chromatic Lantern, 3-drop. Commander Sphere, Cursed Mirror, Decanter of Endless Water, so no maximum hand size. Dockside Extortionist, we're getting more treasures. Yes, it's the typical, your staple for red. But I would say Fable of the Mirror Breaker is my favorite for staple for red, because you're in a treasure token every time. I know this is broken in a way because you combo or you get way ahead. Fable the Mirror Breaker is just such a nice card. And then it's discarding. You can draw that many cards. So it's kind of really fitting in the theme of this. Monocrypt, so we're getting our 0 drop. We're trying to hit that. And I was looking for things that gave me 2, which really there wasn't a lot. I mean, we got Soul Ring, and that's why I threw Monocrypt in here, because it's the 2 being able to use that ability to foretell, put it down. So that's why Monocrypt made it in. Storm Kiln, every time you're casting instants or sorceries or copying them, you get treasure. So that's very nice. We got our Talisman, Thought Vessel, and this gal seems pretty sweet, actually. I like this one. Val, Candlekeep Researcher. So add mana of the amount of colorless equal to its toughness. So 3. It can't be spent to, or can't be cast. The mana can't be spent to cast spells from your hand. So you're not, when you're doing the foretell, you're not casting it from your hand because it can't be countered there. You are exiling it. So with her, I wish it was an even. I wish it was 4, so I'd be able to do it twice. But you can tap her to give you 3, and that gets you one of your cards out, and then 1 floating to cast something else. Maybe something that you already have in exile there that has a colorless in it. But I thought that might be kind of nice in this. I'm at the top end of my rocks. So this could be something that goes. It's maybe not as awesome as I'm thinking. So actually, let's sidebar board that one. Is there anything else that's standing out to me that I would want to get out of there? Oh, and I wouldn't consider these rocks. I just was putting a whole bunch of stuff that are, when they're giving me something, it's not my main core of mono rock. So that's why I might stay on the high end of this. All right, let's move on to our removal because there's going to be some cuts here. I love these as protection for later. Lowry, you know about these guys. They can be very brutal, especially if you put these out early and they're only costing you 3 and 2 mana and they're at instant speed. I love that. Chaos Warp, probably the first time this is going to make it in a deck because it's an instant and it's going to cost me 1 potentially. And I'm kind of leaning on my instant stuff. So what do we got for instants are at 32. Sorceries are at 39. So I'm definitely keeping that one in here. Yeah, Aether Spouts and Aether Eyes do work, but Aether Spouts is better because the top or bottom, like that can wreck somebody. Commit, put target spell or non-land permanent into owner's library second from the top. I just don't think that's strong enough for what I want to do here. Removal 7 to 15. We'll keep that there. This should actually have protection on it. And yes, I have Cyclonic Rift in here. I know I said I don't put Cyclonic in stuff, but here's my caveat with this. Because I'm everything's foretell down, so people don't know what it is. I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, that if I foretell this for 2, the overload cost is also 2 less. So when I cast it on a future turn, the overload is only 5, right? Right? Let me know. Please let me know, because I couldn't find something that specified if overload, and I was being lazy because I was getting this deck put together and stuff, and then I didn't research it, which if no one says anything now, I'll research it afterwards to see if overload is reduced by 2. Because you don't really see the foretell. This is the first commander that has the reducing by 2. I know there's other cards that do that, but I'm just curious. I think the overload will be reduced by 2. So let me know what you guys say on the chat there. All right, Delayed Blast. I'm going to get rid of this one right away, but it seemed cool. It has foretell built in on it. If you do the foretell cast, it does 5 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. So it's almost like a board wipe in a way, and it's doing a lot of damage. Your foretell is still 6 because it's not getting reduced by 2 because it says non-foretell cards get reduced by 2. So we will get rid of that one, but it seemed pretty cool. Let's see. Domineering Will. Target player gains control of up to 3 target non. Seemed cool to change the attackers up and everything, but we're going to get rid of that one too. Gale's redirection. So this one would be protection as well. I should put that in there. Exile target spell, then roll a d20. Add that spell's mana cost plus your d20 spell. Let me see a hair in my eye. And then you may cast the exile card for as long as it remains exiled. Then you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. If it's 15 or higher, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. So we're putting this out for 2. Later for 3, you're basically getting rid of something. So it is kind of like a protection. Or if somebody's casting a game winner, you take it and potentially cast it as well. Or if you roll 15 or higher, depends on what it is. Like if the spell is Cyclonic Rift, you take the Cyclonic Rift. Hey, you need to run. Got that. There's like a little symbol in the way, Laura. I can't see what you wrote there. You need to run Locket of Yesterday. Let me check that one out. Locket of Yesterday. Yesterdays. Let's see where that one popped in there. Spells you play cost 1 less to play for each card with the same name as the spell in your graveyard. Oh. I do like that. That could be pretty nice. Getting you just get 2 of those and then everything costs 1 from your hand. We will throw this up in the we're gonna do this ramp rocks because it's gonna or a spell bonus. No, ramp rocks. I was gonna suggest that yesteryear. Okay. You guys still didn't answer me about the overload stuff. Do you guys know? Help me out. Is the overload stuff reduced? All right, so Gale's redirection. I think that one is. Did I do protection? No, this is protection as well. We did Mystic Confluence, Pongify, 1-drop removal instant, like these instant ones. Raven Form already has Fortell built in on it. I like that it hits an artifact as well. So I dig this one. These really cheap costing ones I want to use because I am going to use the goading. It's secondary, but I will use that. And the more spells I'm playing, the better. So I do want that in there. Reality Shift. Exile target creature, manifest the top of their library. Resculpt target artifact. They get a 4/4, which is kind of big, but it does kill something at instant speed. All these, except for Raven Form, are instant. And then Vandal Blast. This is also why I need to know about the overload because I could get this at a reduced cost as well. So if you guys find out anything with that, please let me know. We're down to 176. Shit. We're going to have so much more to cut. Okay. Removal should be at 7 to 15. So we're in that range. Spell bonuses. This is where probably actually what I'd say is my... this is where I should put that. Where did that artifact go? It should be under spell reduction. I did ramp rocks. Let's get rid of this. And do spell reduction. There we go. Okay, it's properly placed. All right, Aether Flux, you're casting spells, gain some life, gonna be good. That is potentially your game winner too. So we will Day of Dragons that guy. This is where we're gonna have to do some big cuts. Because this is a big spot where there's a lot of things here. So I'm going to show you these, and a lot of these are going to get not a lot, but we're going to get some X's here pretty quick. Okay, so the Quasit, go to creatures you control, can't block. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, that's what we're doing. Go target creature. So this is fantastic in this, because now I'll get the goading from Edgin, but now every spell that I'm casting, I'm goad, you know, so it is cast, so it's not copy whenever you cast a non-creature spell. So you're not going to get that off of your copies, but every cast you're goading instead of your second spell. So this one's really nice. We talked about this on the cast on Monday, but Chrome Host Seeds Shark, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so every time I cast a Dragon's Approach, I'm getting a 3/3 artifact. Artifact that isn't a 3/3. It's an artifact. The 3/1/1 counters on it. You can tap 2 and flip it over. This by itself is really good, especially if you do this early and it only costs 1 later. So I think that's what's going to be a lot of with Edgin is I'm going to set up, be like, okay, I'm going to exile this, exile that. Let's say I have 6 mana out. Next turn, or maybe I say go, and somebody feels like a threat. 2 of those might be instants, and 1 might be this guy. So on their turn, I'm like, cast this, cast that. That's goaded. Comes back around to my turn. I cast the Chrome Host Shark for 1 blue, and then I cast anything from my hand, and now I've goaded another thing. So I think it's going to be a lot of planning, and that's maybe why some of these protection things, I think I want to keep these here, but they might not be as important. But if you goaded enough, you could Aether Spouts as well. That could be a thing. From what I've found, your overloaded spells will be reduced. You calculate any cost involved, and then okay, cool. Thank you, Renshai. That's what I was assuming, but I wasn't 100% positive in that. Docent of Perfection. So whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you get a 1/1, and then it flips over. Same thing. You get a 1/1 blue human wizard. Keeping this for now because we want to start generating our meat force or meat forest. Dragon's Rage. This is nice because you're surveilling, and I do want to put things into the graveyard. Electromagnetic Field. Instant sorcery, so you're dealing additional damage. I'll tell you where I'm going to get rid of stuff. So this is actually kind of a nice blocker. I'm going to get rid of Geoelectrode. I do like that it goes to a player, though. Let's just keep moving through things here. Can cut. Which one? My copy section. Copy section. Did I get to copies yet? Yeah, I did copies, right? You're saying... I don't know which one you're talking about. Hughley? What did you put in there? Hughley into your copy section. You can cut Hughley. Are you trying to say Simon? You're trying to get rid of Simon? No. No, Lowry. No. It might eventually. We'll see. All right. From the 40K, Exalted Flamer of Tezen, whatever. Kid can't even read. I do have the button ready.
Kid can't even
At the
read.
beginning of your upkeep, return an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard to your hand. So we got a little bit of recursion there. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So this is hitting a bunch of people. So instead of Dragon's Approach doing 3, you're doing, 4 to everybody. I like this one in there. I think I might... Whenever you play an instant or sorcery... Is Geoelectrode... Is the errata text play or is it cast? I'm guessing it's cast. So the copies wouldn't work. I don't think the copies work. I thought this had the... would do the errata text on this, but maybe not. I'm pretty sure this is a cast. Let me know if you guys find that one out. Gutter Snipe, we're going to deal 2 damage to each opponent, so we're continuing to do our Dragon's Approach stuff. We're adding to it. Keeper of the Secrets, whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, deals that much damage to that spell to target opponent, so Dragon's Approach stuff. I think we got to make some cuts with the multiple damage stuff. We're going to get rid of Leyline Anticipation. We need to make a meat for us, so I'm looking at these. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, tap target creature and opponent controls. Does not untap. I like that from people not attacking me. We're going to get rid of... There's so much stuff I like! Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 1 damage to target an opponent, a planeswalker. We're going to get rid of... Sorcery spell this turn. Copy that spell. So it does have a copy on that. I think this one's just too much. I like it, but it's too much even to get a reduction. This one's too much. I don't think this one's doing enough. We already looked at that. Will Breaker could be was interesting early when I was doing the goading. It still might be okay. So I think this is going to be a sideboard guy. But when you're goading, you are targeting with a ability. So you would take their creature. Yes, you would have to attack with it, but you would take their creature whenever you goad stuff. So I do kind of like that little unique part to it. Could be another way to getting damage through. Yep. Yeah. Casting a copy of instant deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Yeah. Okay. I kind of am jumping around a little bit. Young Pyromancer. These are all my getting little dudes out, but maybe I don't focus so much on that. We can get rid of some of these that don't have the blocking ability, because I got to get rid of 72 cards. So we really got to pick out the ones that are going to help me out the most. So do we want things that are going to be doing more of the damage? Because the problem is when you're hitting the whole table is going to come at you. So in my mind, I almost want a defense out there. Your Dragon's Approach stuff is doing its thing. You're casting spells, getting your army out there so you're becoming a threat and can block. So I almost want my Dragon's Approach to be the main thing that's hitting everybody and not have all these little dinks and dunks everywhere. I guess that's just kind of my thought with it, is having the Dragon's Approach being the mass damage and not being a typical like damage. I know we have the damage multipliers above, but I'm hoping when I cast those that I have enough out that there's nothing anybody can do at that time. So I may start knocking off some of these ones that are the 1 damage when you're tapping it. I like them. They will go to sideboard for now. Let's see. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, this creature deals that much damage to target opponent. I feel like, Doji, you mentioned the Price of Progress before. Isn't that the... Oh, no, that isn't the one. Let me just pull that one up. I was thinking the Furnace of Wrath, I think is what I was thinking. Equal the number, twice the number of non-basic. Yeah, that is a good one. That is a good one, but it's not. And so that's kind of going with what I'm saying here is where I'm starting to work this out as we do this. Is I almost want to take out all these guys of your typical spell slinger doing damage and more focus on the building an army up so that I don't get a crackback from hitting everybody for 3 damage. So balance it a little bit more. The Dragon's Approach is the 25 damage to everybody stuff. Now I need stuff to make it so that I'm angering 3 people. And when you start getting them lower and lower, they're going to come at you. You need defense. And so that's why this helps, because you're making people attack other people. Getting creatures helps a lot. These are just going to piss people off more. We're going to do sideboard for all these because this is just thinking out loud. It might not work out the way I want. Maybe it's just too weak and I need to go stronger with it. But this will be more not becoming the target if you take out all these direct damage things. Target opponent. Also can cut a ton into a removal. Removal. Are you saying to get rid of some of the stuff in here? Are you saying if I keep those, Lowry? Like, I do like the ones that it allows me to pick an opponent or a creature. So those ones I might pop back in because that is removal. Or is that? Where do we do sideboard? There was one in there. Target creature or player. That's an opponent. So maybe Geoelectrode is... Geoelectrode. There we go. That one might be worth keeping in because that would be part of my removal. So let's pop him back in. What is it? Move to main deck. and we will retag it as removal. There we go. You could run things like dictate twin gods for damage amplifiers. Yep, that is the yep, I do know that one too. We're doing a different approach. I'm going for the one turn later on. It's all over. Yeah. Well, okay, so yes and no. Yeah. No, I'm thinking out loud. Remember I was talking about how I'm exiling everything out so that I can do it all in one turn. So if I have the damage multipliers out, then I kill everybody in that one turn. Or I go the route of putting those out and not casting them all at once, just casting them willy-nilly here and there, getting the bonuses from the goading and all that stuff. Let me go this route for now. That's why these are all gonna go sideboard that are direct damage stuff. I like the Cascade guy. I like this one stealing stuff that will piss people off. Target opponent. Metallurgic. So exile it. Return all instant sorceries from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this if you control 6 more artifacts. So this is kind of doing but you're getting an actual creature there. All right. What else didn't I show you guys off of this? Shark Typhoon, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, get a blue shark with flying, which is nice. Just seeing if anything stands out here. Young Pyromancer. We're going to have to hit some of these up here in a sec. Let's keep going. Let's go through the whole list, and then we're going to come back and start cutting. I don't know. Now I'm like, I'm second guessing myself. If I'm putting my Dragon's Approach out in exile and all my other spells, I can look non-threatening the whole game and people won't come at me. Come at me, bro. Or they're worried that I'm going to do something. And then you do one swoop and you kill everybody. That is how I like to play a lot. I like to, all of a sudden the game is over. All right, let me get through the last stuff here, and then I'm going to kind of rethink this out a little bit, how I want this. Cosmos Charger. Cards you cast, foretelling cards from your hand cost 1 less to cast, or 1 less, and can be done on any player's turn. So that's kind of the nice thing is foretelling cards from here. So you could foretell stuff not on your turn. You're like, okay, they're about to say go. Then you're like, okay, foretell this, foretell that for this. And then it's your turn, and then you cast those cards. So that's going to be super nice. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, may pay 1 if you do draw a card. How many draws do we have? I think we already have enough draw. I might not need the Lunar Mystic. Maybe? How much draw? 26. Ooh, we're well over. Okay, so let's get rid of that one. That's adding more. What is my draw, though, stuff here? It would be nice to pay 1 and draw off of... Why is that one not in the draw area? I think I placed that one. Should be in draw. And go like that. Save it. Okay. Beginning your upkeep, put an oil counter on it. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each oil counter on this. So you cast this before your turn, or you foretell it. It has flash, so you foretell it on your turn. You cast it before your turn. Right away, all your instant sorceries cost 1 less. So your Dragon's Approach now costs 2. Similar to this guy, except this continues to get more and more counters, and it helps all your other stuff as well. Instant sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast. I think the other stuff on it isn't that great. Deals 1 damage to each opponent. I think this one's kind of weak. These are a little bit more, these are stronger. Being able to do this on other people's turns is really nice. We already talked about our wheel and draw stuff. All right. So we went through all the cards. These are the sideboard ones. Oh, the 2 that weren't in there that I had already put sideboard, but this one just costs so much. But spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 2 less. So it would help with your fortell stuff, but you're already reducing. You're thinking Dragon's Approach. That's what you're most likely going to have in your hand or in exile. They already cost 2 less, so it's 1. So this doesn't help that. So I didn't put it in there, but in a normal Edgin deck, it could be fun to have in there. Okay. Now let's go back and kind of rethink this. Right now, so we cut how many cards there? 30? And we cut 30 in the first run through. It's pretty good. Oh, I gotta get that comfortable in an hour. Not bad. All right. I don't know if I'm gonna finish this one today, but we'll see. More of a Spellslinger burn since it's going in Kaikar. Yep, Kaikar will do that. Okay. Let's start with our copy stuff. 1,000-Year Storm could do whenever you cast an instant 4. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. I just don't think it's gonna work as well as I like. I like the cascading for your a likely or a good chance you can cascade into your other dragons. Or no, it's 1 or less. It's cast with less value. Oh, never mind. I do like that because I'm casting other people's turns. So I shouldn't say never mind. But if you cast something for 1, you're not casting anything else. When you cast the spell, your first spell, exile it. Exile my cards to exile a non-land card. Cost less. You may cast without paying its mana cost. Put it in the blah, blah, blah. So I guess if you hit, if I did cast for 1, I could hit the the Mana Crypt. I guess is my option there. I don't like my card being revealed, but I do like that they are copied. Choose new targets. I like the copy effects here. I like that. I like that. I like that. Copy it. May choose new targets. I might get rid of this guy because we got 6 there, 6 there. There's more to this bonus, although they are seeing my card, but you can play off the top of your library, so that's really nice. And this is, you can cast this from your hand. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this has to be from exile. So let's pop this guy gone. Copy new targets. My solo, my only planeswalker in the deck. Just looking through all of these, which ones are not standing out to me. All right, copy spells. Simon. I like Simon though, especially since Lowry doesn't like it. Sorry, Lowry. Fire Emancipation. These are just brutal. Like, these are my doubler. This is the game winners there. Yeah, see, they're all in this little thing here. Ancient Silver Dragon. We'll get rid of him. Right? Like, these 4 just seem like the solid part of this. Because if you hit with Ancient, the problem is these don't have haste, so you're not going to get your bonuses. They're probably going to get removed. At least Niv doesn't necessarily. I mean, it does, but you draw. Only Planeswalker. Do you have Ral? Oh, I do have Ral. You're right. I have Ral in there. Good point. So sorceries, we have 25 plus 39, so we have 14 that are not of that. We're going to keep moving down. I'm going to get rid of Fact or Fiction. I do like that. Frantic Search, yeah. Jin, whenever you cast, yep, we're drawing off of that. That's nice. Neheb, I think we're just going to have to remove it. That Neheb, the other Neheb is really good. Una, target player draws a card. Retrace, just seems a little too much. Draw, we need to get down 12 to 18. So we got our sorceries that are 1-drops. 1, 2, and 3. It would be nice to fit in the 3 theme, but these are just bonuses. You're throwing these guys out. This on your turn and cast another spell. Now you're goading something. Brainstorm. Yes, yes, yes. Just kind of running through all these. Draw 2 cards is very nice. Jumpstart. Discard a land. By discarding a card, not a land. Mission briefing. I'm going to get rid of that because there is no reduction in that. And it was 2 blue. I like that. Instant speed, instant speed. All right, we hit a big chunk there. Let's move down. Mono multipliers. I think Mono Geyser could be really game changing at the end. I think Seething Song. I think we got to move some stuff out of here. Leyline, I might be just dependent on. I think the other ones are a little more game changing. And I'm counting on what I was counting. Like the thing that's going to happen is you start pumping Leyline and then they kill it. And then you you have to use all the red to do damage. Although it is removal, but you do damage on, it could be removal. Do sideboard with him. Red, 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 red. Okay. This is just adding to your fortell stuff. Cryptic command. Protection, protection, protection. I like the protection that has the potential of playing copies. You may choose new targets for you may choose new targets for that. No, then copy it. So you're not. This is all protection there. These are the copy ones, because then you can use it on yourself, or you can use it when somebody else is using it. So these might. Man, we're not protecting our stuff. 8 to 12, and we're already under. No, I don't. It shows up in 2 spots because it has 2 tags. Withdraw and mono multipliers. So it'll show up in 2 different things. So sometimes some of these have like 3 spots. Yeah, Burgie's really good, Doji. All right. We'll come back to protection. I'm a little worried about how thin this is. But you are playing a spell slinger. You're just getting your fortell stuff out, but you do want to protect your commander too. Okay, let's hit up some of these rocks. 13 to 17. So there isn't any that are standing out to get rid of necessarily. Maybe Commander Sphere. And I want to have a no maximum hand size, so I like both of those. So let's keep everything else as is for now. Removal. Only because of the overload, I am keeping these 2 in there. Yes, Cyclonic Rift is making it in there. Having that threat be in there, and now it's not like, oh, he has 7 mono, but 5 mono can do it. You get all this stuff out there. I might need... It might be that I go less with the protection. Let me just reread that. 1 or more targets roll. That is protecting your stuff. For cheap. That's the same thing as deflecting SWAT. So I'll keep that in there. But what was I going to say? Oh, with removal stuff. I feel like I hear storms outside. It's storming. Instant sorcery. Yeah, it totally is storming out there. It's like our first storm. Well, we've had some thunder the other night. It's really cold for thunderstorms right now. It's kind of crazy. Cryptic Command being a 3 blue kind of bugs me because everything else is so cheap. So I think Cryptic's going to go. Remove that. 12 removal. 7 to 15. Okay. Whew. I have 56 cards still to cut. All right, let's move down to the counter spells can act as removal. Yeah, yep. But I got rid of all the counter spells. I got rid of all the counter spells. I just showed that they were there. It showed you that there was an option to have the counter spells. But I did get rid of all of those. Okay, so whenever you cast a spell from exile, this creature deals damage each of the spells. Okay, so if your creature gets killed, this is gone too. It's not separate from it. Cut land. Stop it, Doji. We're going to get that sideboarded. That by itself works. That by itself works. I gotta draw 3 or more wizards. Transform. Is that strong enough? This is a good card. I've had this do some work, especially in Spell Slinger type of decks. And I keep looking at everything for spell reduction because of the 2 less. Instead of sorcery, tap target creature opponent controls. So this you could use some you could do some nasty stuff with that. On other people's turns, you cast any of the things you have in exile and then you tap their thing down. So it's almost doing like the goading in a way. So I like having the multiple effects. This always ends up getting cut, but it is a 2/2 flyer? I think we're gonna go this. We're gonna go this. Cascade. We already talked about that guy. I like with the flying. I like with the flying. This one's 6, and it's not every opponent, and it's just from hand. So we're gonna sideboard that guy, or not from hand. All right, let's check out that Exalted Flamer. Beginning of your upkeep, return an instant. I like the recursion built in on that. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell to each opponent. So it is doing that each opponent thing. I do like that. I like the cuts we made so far on that. I just don't think that's going to be doing as much as I'd like. What is our curve? A lot of 3 drops. And 2.6. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this whole thing tonight. I was hoping to have it done. We'll see. I'm just weaning this list down a little bit because I would almost consider this a side theme, your spell bonus. So we need to get this down to at least 10, if not more. And this one stays because, yeah, it's doing 1 damage to target opponent, but you're adding extra mana for each spell you're casting. Each instant or sorcery you cast, you get mana built in. So that's very nice to keep. So you can continue doing what you're doing. I think Will Breaker is good enough to have in here. Because your commander can goad. And so you can take the biggest threat on the board. Or a creature and opponent you control gain. Is there any other things that I'm doing that would be able to take it as well? It's really going to be based on my commander. But if you set things up nice, you could get a couple things on one turnaround. Started working on Kaikar Monday, unless someone. All right. For 50 cards, we're down to 50. Basically got half done there, and now we're getting to the hard stuff. Removal. Let's see. Do we have enough spot removal? Do I want to do that? I like that their instance, Raven form, has the built-in fortell, but also does its stuff. I most like these to try to get the bonus from Edgin. Vandal Blast, yeah. Aether Spouts, Aether Eyes. Both of those are instants. Those are ones you just put down early and you wait until late game and those go back out. Is this too situational? Cards in your hand cost one less. Fortell cards in... Oh, wait a second. They... Hand without Fortell. Has Fortell. Okay. So every card in my hand will have Fortell. So that is actually quite nice with this. Fortell cards goes one less and can be done on any player's turn. So instead of 2, it's going to cost 1. Fortell cards from your hand cost 1 less to cast. 1 less and can be done on any player's turn. Yeah, that's actually pretty solid. That's actually really good for this. Then it costs 1 and you're 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's really good for this. Play one of each card with the same name as that spell in your graveyard. Yeah, I dig that. Okay, so these 3 are pretty solid with the spell reduction of just the Dragon's Approach stuff. Okay, and then we have our wheels. Maybe I get a little less on our wheels here. We don't need to have Wheel of Fortune, of course. Wheel of Fate, people will see that coming, but I could set it up. You know, you get that one out too, and then you start just putting stuff down, and then boom, you're getting it ready to go. Problem is you can't use the ability there. So we're going to do this. Sideboard. We got 4 of those. I just threw it in there as getting some of the utility stuff. A lot of times I do put Cavern of Souls in decks. Again, I do use a proxy because I have the card, but I actually own 4 of those. Oh, good for you.
Oh, good for you.
But it's another way to solidify that your commander doesn't get countered if you're playing. We don't have a lot of counter spellers, a lot of decks that we play against, but it is also a human. So humans would be covered in that. I don't know how many humans are actually in here. 6 of them. So it would cover 6 of them that way. And it's a 2 color, so I end up doing that because I have enough utility stuff in here. I have enough fetches. I should be good on my mana, so almost counting this as a colorless is fine. And then potentially keeping it so my commander can't be countered, because that would suck if your commander's died like 2 or 3 times. And you go to cast it and then it gets countered and you're like, well, now it's another 2. Just having this in there, I end up doing that a lot more. We've talked about that in the cast, I think, before, or Lowry's mentioned. I don't think we've gone into depth with it. Or maybe we did, like a pet card that I like to use. And Cavern, for a $75 card, is a pet card I like to use. But it's nice when you use proxies of stuff. It just makes it easier to put it in every deck. Which is why I say you guys should use proxies. Okay, so Wheel of Misfortune. All these 3 get that reduction down. Reforge the Soul is basically the same thing, except we're going to get this one to a 3. So I like all 4 of these sit in there. The other 2 are fine. We got rid of. All right. And what was I at with the land? 36. Start back up at the top, guys. Let's work our way back down again. Jin just might be too much. I know we're copying spells. We want to do that. But these guys just might be too high in casting costs, right? I mean, it's really good. Like, really good. It's really dicky. I like this one better than... We'll get rid of this one. Side. And I almost want to keep Simon just out of spite for Lowry. Just for you, Lowry. These are my copy spells. We got 3 copiers there. I think we're just counting on too much with this one, so we're going to get rid of that. Good idea, though. I like the... It would have been nice if it was equal or less, because then you could hit another Dragon's Approach, but cascading is less, so you're going to most likely hit 2, which would be nice. I shouldn't have just gotten rid of it because it would be nice as a sideboard because then it makes it that much easier to what was the card name now? I almost want to pull it back because I didn't put it to sideboard. Shit, where does it say? Does it even say like things I cut? I don't think it does. It's gone forever and never get it back. But it would be nice to be able to cast only one spell on somebody's turn and then cascade into another one. So then I'm not having to cast two things every time. It's just one spell, cascade, spell. And what I'm curious on is cascade. Is it the mana cost is reduced by 2? So does that count into it? I'd have to get it out. But if you guys remember the name, throw it in the chat. I don't remember what the name was that I just cut, whatever that card was. It's not one I play with, but it seemed like a fun card for this. 1,000 Year Storm really seems like it can do some damage. I got some light flickerage, so if things all of a sudden cut out, it's because my power went out, just so you guys know. We are doing the creature side of things, so these are part of my Day of Dragons. Day of Dragons. Draw 12 to 18. The part that's hard is main theme is your Day of Dragons. Urza Saga was cut. Urza's never made it in because I didn't have enough. It's only Sensei's and the Soul Ring that I would go for. And so I didn't want Urza's in this deck necessarily. If I was using the, what's the equipment? I'm brain farting. The one that removes the hexproof and all that stuff. Staff of the, not the staff. What is it? Made the damn proxy of it and I can't think of it. But if I had more of those, I guess I could use it because of the other Mono Rock. There is 3. You know what? Just out of spite. Just for you guys. There we go. Urza Saga has made it back in. There was something else that I threw in here that I was like, I'll just throw it in. What can I get rid of? Playing 2 colors. So, where was my other one that I would get rid of? Like. I'll get rid of that guy. There we go. Thank you guys. Out of spite. So our side theme. Well, you know what? Because I do have the Soul Ring, I do have the Mana Crypt, and I do have Sensei's Top. So I do have 3 targets that I could get with Urza's Saga. So I'm fine. When it was only the 2. Oh, and Locket of Yesterday. So now we have 4 things I could go and get with Urza's. Artifact for 1 or 0, put on the battlefield. Yeah, so there's more options now. So I dig that. Okay. I think spell bonus, I need to drop this down because this would be my side theme. We need to figure out the 10 best things here. So this, I think, is a for sure. What does the little dot do? What do I do there? What does that do? Oh, I just wanted to mark it to say that I love it. I love it. Is there a love button? Show you my love button. Where is the love? Maybe I turn it to foil. There. That's how I'm showing it. Build a unique deck. Just because I put Urza's in there. Oh, this one doesn't have a foil, so that is not how I can do that. Dang it. I'm going to indicate. Okay, I love this card. I love this. This is going to work well with this. I feel like these 3 are for sures. The Chrome Host Seed Shark seems like a really good one in this. Stormkill, yes. Ral. Whenever 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker, whenever you cast your next sorcery spell, copy it. Choose new targets. It's good. It's good. caster copy so we can do more than, yeah, okay. Shark Typhoon, yep, we're getting our dudes. This is a little bit of recursion built in, yep. Maybe Will Breaker just isn't. This will piss people off. We're going to sideboard that guy. That uses proxies like an actual... Why not? I don't want to have dual lands out in my deck. They're much better in my binder. Cutting 3 from this. The hard part with this is if you're trying to do Dragon's Approach, this is kind of going against that. We're going to do that to sideboard at this point. And we're going to keep, I think, everything else. No, I said I wanted to get it to 10. This guy hits 2 things. Spell bonus, and it should be copy. I keep going to this one because it costs 5. So I'm trying to think like this is 6, but you're getting 3 3s. 3/3 flying sharks. This one, and if you're casting anything else like an artifact, you also get that there too. This one you're getting 1/1s. Do they ever turn into flying? No. So we got flyer, damage. Temples are the best lands. You are correct. Don't tell Cole that. Cole does not like those. Let's get rid of something else in here. I like that the flying 5/4. This is not a creature by itself, so that is a little bit of a downfall. Talrance, I don't know. So we got the same cost, but we're getting a 2/2 versus a 1/1. We're getting a flyer, and we're getting ground dudes. I almost want to keep everything flying to give me a little bit of evasion there. So I'm going to sideboard that one. All right. Although there is a lot of wizards. Our wizard. We'll keep that 11. We got that close to my 10. Removal 7 to 15. I think I have too much spot removal necessary. I feel like this one's too big. It really makes their creature big. This one allows them though to play the top card. Creature card that be turned face up anytime for its mana cost. So it could end up helping them. For 2/2. Let's do that one. And maybe we just keep the Aether Eyes out. Because we are making a lot of creatures potentially. Sideboard that one. Everything else was we got 1, 2, 3, 4 spot removal. And then this potentially can hit a creature or a player. So a little bit there and there. And then all their creatures. Okay, so I'm fine with that. Removal at 10. 7 to 15. So we're sitting in there. Cutting stuff. I'm trying to cut this off in 20 minutes. 2 hour. I don't want this to go very much longer than 2 hours because then you just need to get your brain a rest from things. Okay, some ramp and rocks. I kind of have to keep this where it's at. I think this is a solid set here. Brass's Bounty, maybe. Actually, that might be a little high. Sideboard there. I think everything else sits pretty because we got instant speed, casting your stuff. You're getting stuff off of it. Curse Smear, yeah. Pyromancer, we're doubling stuff. Dockside, sure. Thanks for stopping in, Doji. I don't know. I'm going to cut 40 some cards. 40 cards? 40 cards? Oh, balls. Balls. So what is the idea behind this? We have 25 of these little guys. When they hit, or when it hits, most likely getting Niv. But if somebody looks open, could do one of these two. But Niv is a good way to refill your hand. Now we got 37 sorceries and 21 instants. So we kind of want to get some of these sorceries out of there. Besides, we have 25 of them. So there's 12 other sorceries. Lowry might be right with Simon, unless I get rid of some of these sorceries. Those are 1-drops. We keep an instance in there. I mean, they're very nice. And maybe we don't need senseis because we're doing a spell slinger. So we're drawing so many. So actually, senseis might go, which is weird because I always have senseis in there. But it might need to go because I'm trying to draw so much. Sideboard for now. God, this is a lot tougher when you have this handicapping you. Like you just don't have that many cards you can put in. So you got to kind of be a little bit more picky. So maybe it's picking the better of the two. And if I'm making a lot of tokens and stuff, I can reduce this down. But a lot of them are making blue stuff, right? Is that what our stuff? One blue artifact, so we can get the well, the commander, you can get it down more. So I guess it depends on what I draw, like what I open. Like if I don't open City on Fire, I don't have it at this point. I don't think I'm gonna go out and buy it necessarily. So I do have Fiery Emancipation.
Oh, good for you.
So for now, I'm going to put this to the sideboard. And I do have this little guy. And Thrumming Stone. I have all these. Yeah, so we'll keep those like that. Fiery Storm. Chandra for 6. It just feels like a lot. Whenever you cast an instant or source spell, copy it, may choose new targets. This, you use the ability, but you are dealing 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker when you cast things. The blueprint. Handful of wraths for removal and extra stuff. Just play. Okay, what did he say there, Lau? The blueprint doesn't apply to this. Have a handful of wraths for removal, and any extra stuff just play into what you're doing. Has Urbrest been suggested? Urbrest is in here, but not the other Urbrest. Yeah, the blue. Okay, I see what you're saying. The blueprint doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, because the 25 just throws this whole thing off. That's the part that sucks. I'm just like, oh man, I can't keep within those because they should be fine there. I'm almost 2 mana, 2 cards. It's exiling. Damage to each of up to 2 targets. I just think that 6 is a little much. We'll sideboard her. Do like Jin. Jin just seems like game winner. I don't even think I have that as a game winner in this, but I feel like it should be a Day of Dragons. Also, anything too high CMC kind of has to get kicked. You'll literally do nothing until you cast. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a very good point. So 1,000-Year Storm could be the winner, though. So that one, right? Don't you think 1,000-Year Storm, like that's also a potential winner, game winner? So I should keep that. And if I'm doing the 2 reduction on that one. Fury Storm. Paul! All right. On that point, Lowry, I'm going to scroll down and see how our besides these guys, see if there's any other big costing stuff in here. Part of me's thinking I got to get rid of the sorcery stuff. I know they're 1-drops. They're very nice. I like that, but I think I need to stick with instants because I need to be able to respond. And potentially make people get their stuff goated. So we're going to sideboard a lot of these. I know they're so good. I know they're so good. Don't get mad at me. But I think I got to get rid of those because I need to make it so people aren't hitting me because I guess that's the other way I could do it is instead of the 1/1 creatures. I'm hoping that having a little bit of a meat forest. 1, 2, 3, 4 token generators. So that's not a lot. And then we're playing with right now 25 creatures. All right. So I kind of skipped ahead of there. So we did our draw. I like these a lot. The big score stuff. These brainstorm. Yes. Drawing 2 cards. Sure. Faithless Looting. We're just going to pop you into sideboard as well. Jessica's Will, sure. Jin Kataxis, yes. For each attacking creature, this could be 1. Plays their second spell each turn, yes. These are good draws. Very good draw engines. Mana Geyser, I might be just kind of... Gosh, 1 red for each tapped land your opponents control. This late game, getting this out and then being able to tap 3 and then get like holy balls, a lot of land or a lot of mana. Like this just seems really good in this deck, especially if I'm setting everything up the way I'm saying I'm going to. So I think the plan is to, like I mentioned earlier, get everything out. And then you're just playing, you're exiling them all as fortell, and then you just play it situational. So you don't want people to be like, well, I know that one's a Dragon's Approach. That's kind of the part that fortell sucks with, is there's only a handful of fortell stuff. So you're like, well, I know that's got to be this or this or this card. With this deck, being able to have all of them be anything, like then people are just guessing, and then that's why you just get a whole bunch of stuff. What are you disagreeing with, Ari? Oh, are you saying the Urbrask or something else I said? 33 cards. Wheel of Misfortune. This one always... Each player secretly chooses a number 0 or greater. Then all players reveal those... This could potentially backfire on you. Deals damage equal to the highest number to each player who chose that number. Each player didn't choose the lowest number. Discards their hand and draws 7 cards. So the person that did the highest takes damage but still gets a draw. So if you want to make sure that you're drawing a new hand, if you don't have to discard. I like the ones that force you to discard more. So maybe I pop this one to sideboard too. We have the 3 Windfall, Wheel of Fortune, and Reforge the Soul. Okay. Now my sideboard is just stuff that I'm like, I like, and later I will go back and try to knock it down to 15. And then I keep those on the side. So if things aren't working out, then I can go back to those 15 and maybe sub some things in. If I get rid of it, just means I don't even want to think about it anymore. It's not going to be in. It's not one of the good cuts, or it's not one of the cards that I'm going to be using. So Cyclonic Rift is there. Electrode, Mystic Confluence. Counter, return target creature. Okay, so I do like the bounce part of that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 things there. 5 things. I feel like my removal has to kind of stay where it's at. I don't think there's much more I can do with my removal there. kind of locked in there. Rocks, I'm kind of locked in there as well. Protection is where I kind of gotta mess with some things. I don't think I'm gonna be able to protect things as much. You may choose new targets for target instant or sorcery, then copy that spell. You may choose new target. So I do like that part of it. This is just choosing a new target. And then if you get 15 or higher, you get to copy it. Let's do 2 and 2. We're going to keep these 4. Move that one to sideboard. Ugh, I don't like this. This amount of, or lack of protection, but kind of what I got to do. Were you talking about Mana Geyser, Larry? You said you disagree, but it's delayed, so I never know what thing you're talking about. So we need ways to refill your hand. That is always nice. That's nice. We're gonna do this little guy. And it seems fun. It really does. But we're needing to cut shit, and that is one thing that needs to go. Instant speed, like that. Instant speed. Draw. 12 to 18. Scry 2, draw 2. Draw 2. So the same amount, but you're able to bring this one back. So we have 7 sorceries. Where's our other sorceries? We got 1 there. Where are some other ones? I know we got the 25 there. Nope. Oh, there's 2, 3. I'm only seeing 3. Oh, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there we go. That's our other ones there. Okay. What do we think about this one though? Mind Splice. I think it works well. Beginning of your upkeep, put an oil counter. Instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less. So kind of a similar thing to this. This is spell. This, I almost think this is better. I know this is a 1-drop, but I think this is better in this situation that this is only going to help Dragon's Approach, which is what this deck is. So that, don't get me wrong there. But this is going to help every instant and sorcery that you have. Yeah. So every instant or sorcery in this deck will cost 1 less for each counter. So the very first turn, you're getting 1 less to cast everything, then 2, then 3, then 4. I feel like those 3 kind of got to stay in there. You disagree with that? Yeah, but what do I get? That's why they're on the sideboard. I mean, I can put them in. That's why I had them so I could cast them on my turn and draw and all that stuff. But the part that's hard is like, I don't know where to put anything out. Like what else to get rid of? I got 30 cards to get rid of here. This is there's a lot. I was about to go Stormkill, but Stormkill's good. You need that there. Fable. Non-legendary. We do have a lot of those. Balls. I'm going to tell you, having 25 of one card is not fun. That makes it so much more difficult to have other options of stuff. Oh, shit. You're back. I'm still going. I just don't know what to get rid of. Because then if I get rid of some of these other draw, then it's just substituting 1 for 1. You know? Hitting a wall of what I can do here. Oh, and I got 5 minutes left anyways. So I'm not gonna be able to finish this one tonight. But I'm gonna be close. Went down 66 cards. Damn it. I just don't know what else to cut. And I got 30 cuts to make. So that's why somebody's got to take a break. and get away from some stuff for a bit. All right, we're going to do one more pass through it all and see if there's anything else that sticks out. If you guys see anything, shout it out. I might give her old cut. All right, so I cast a spell, copy it. So we're casting that later. I know, Lowry, you want to get rid of Simon. You might be right, but most of my spells are 3 or more. But then allowing other people to draw might not be good. Damn it, I might have to cut it. All right, sideboard. Simon went to the sideboard, Lowry. You happy now? The only thing is allowing others to potentially draw is not a good thing. So that's if it drew one or did something, it didn't give the other players a draw, then I'd be more inclined to use it. And it might still come back. We'll see. I was determined to keep it in here, but when you have 25 of one card, it gets a little tough. 1,000-Year Storm can be ridiculous if you keep this sucker out there. It is an enchantment, so it's a little bit less removed. I've never played with 1,000 Year, so this will be interesting, I guess, if it stays. It is part of the Day of Dragons. 3 to 5. So we have a lot in here. Some things that we could maybe get rid of there. Second spell, each turn you draw a card. We like that. So these are my really good draw engines there. So this one's a better one than the Simon, because I'm the only one drawing. Simon's 2 less, but this one is much better. Simon there, so let's keep that. We just might have to hit some of these creatures. Is really the big thing here, because it's a spell slinger. Although I am down to 24, you need some blockers too. Damn it! As much as I love this card, oh god, I don't want to get rid of it. Because this one makes the sharks right away. I love this card a lot. 9-creature spell, incubate. You still got to pay the 2 to flip it over. I don't think it makes the cut today, but it might make the cut next video. Yeah, gang, I don't think I'm going to be making any other cuts tonight. There isn't anything that's standing out to me, so I got to cut 29 cards from the next time. And the other thing that I probably will do is I will goldfish while I'm not on stream and just pretend like I have a land each turn and kind of see what is working and what isn't working. That's what I kind of did with Urotet to kind of flesh things out a little bit. All right. I think I'm going to call her quits tonight because that is 2 hours of doing this bad boy. I will try to get this deck done. I'm hoping maybe I'll try to get this on again this week. We have our battle boxes on Friday, so maybe I'll sneak this deck in on Sunday before the cast on Monday. So we'll see how things shake out. Sunday got a lot going on, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know. Thank you guys all for joining. Like I said, we do have the cast on Mondays, but we do have the battle boxes, which is this Friday, which is 4/21, so April 21st. I don't know why I said 4/21 that way, because 4/20 is tomorrow, whatever. So that's that's why I think I did that. So yeah, we have the battle boxes Friday night, most likely 9 o'clock. So if you're watching this now or at a later date, check us out for those. We're going to be opening the new March of the Machine. All right, guys, that should do it. You all have a good night, and I'll check you later. We'll see ya. Bye. See ya. Oh, I got to hit the button just for Renshai.
A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Have a good one, guys.